All right, welcome Helvetti to my interview show thingy on YouTube. Hello. Quick give us a quick bio introduction of
Hi.
yourself. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm Helvetti. As of May this year, I'll be in VR for 2 years now. Um, I am
Mhm.
closely approaching 30. I've been in VRChat for 2 years. Never heard of it before until I got exposed to it. And yeah, that's brief, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good. So I guess right off the bat, how did you get exposed to VR chat? Like, how did you learn about it?
Well, one of my friends invited me over and to play video games, and we usually play like fighting games or Minecraft or stuff like that. And like, oh, I have VR. Do you want to play? And I'm like, okay. So we tried like tennis, and then we tried Beat Saber, and it's like, oh, have you ever heard of VR chat? And I'm like, no. So we ended up getting on VR chat because he had two headsets and it was on Quest. And we were playing that, and then that's when I met one of my first friends off of his account. A month later, I ended up getting my own headset.
What headset do you use? Like, what's your setup? What equipment?
Right now I have a Quest 2 that's PC linked. I have two desktops. I have a desk with my like Razer keyboard and headset. I'm planning to do some PC upgrades soon. I do have full body. I just need base stations. I was
Mhm.
briefly in full body, but I need to get new base stations. I actually lucked out on my PC. I was on Quest for like about a year until I switched to being PC linked, and I actually lucked out because I spotted one for it. The guy was selling it for like $900, and I talked him down to like 600. So
Nice.
yeah.
Pog.
hmm
So you said you have full body. Like, do you have trackers? Is what you're saying, but not the base stations?
I do. I have, yes, I was using my roommates who, well, I don't have roommates right now, but I used to have roommates and they had full body, so I was using their 2.0 base stations. Right now I do have 2.0 Vive trackers. I have three of them. I'm planning once I do get Vive trackers, I mean the base stations, I'm planning to get 9-point tracking.
Mm-hmm. 9 point tracking. What is that? Like, I think I've heard about it, but I've
It's
never
where
like
you
learned what it exactly is. Like, I hear, but I don't really know. So maybe that can.
so So with having trackers on your waist and on your legs, technically it'll be considered like one, two, three, and then your hands is 4, 5, and then you'll put one on your chest. That'll be 6, and then putting some on your elbows, or you can put them on your knees.
Hmm.
So you can go from anywhere from like 9 to like 11-point tracking. And most people tend to use it when they're more into like dancing, which I do want to get into. Not your typical VR chat like club dancing, but more like raving and
Mm.
shuffling and stuff.
Yeah. Like, not like the everyone's favorite lap dances, kind of stuff, or pole dances.
Yeah,
What kind of
yeah.
dancing are you like
No,
going
that's
for?
not my cup of tea. Oh my
Oh,
God, I'm so
no,
sorry.
you're good. No worries.
I actually sat down in the seat. But yeah, it's like,
Yeah, what kind of
wait,
dancing
what was
would
your
you?
question?
What kind of dancing do you wish to like perform on a VR chat? Like, what kind of like moves and styles of dancing?
I usually do a lot of like industrial dancing or tectonic dancing. I'm not
Okay.
sure if you know what that is, but it's more like a lot of like joint and like hand movements, like raving work like that. Like I do gloving, like
Mhm.
flow art and stuff like that too. I
Okay.
used
Yeah.
to go to this goth club, that's local and stuff like that. It's also considered a gay club too, but most people consider it like a goth club.
Mhm. No, I didn't know that. Hopefully one day I get to see the you just breakdancing in the middle of the dance floor. doing the shuffles, you know.
Kind of. I'll look. I have fun. I'm not really good at dancing. I have fun. It probably look awkward and stupid, but
Oh yeah,
it's still fun nonetheless.
that's the
You ever
fun of
seen
it.
that meme?
Mm, which meme?
Yeah, you ever seen that one meme video? Like it was a huge meme at the time where it shows like it's like random songs like Mario game soundtracks or like the Rickroll song or anything like from like on Vega Bus Boys whatever, but it's like these goth guys, dancing and throwing their arms everywhere and kicking everywhere under the bridge. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
That's what industrial dancing is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. I need to try that one time then when I'm on full body in like a dance event or just someone's
Dance
just playing
underneath a
music.
bridge.
Yeah.
Yep, just
Yeah.
go to world with a bridge.
Mhm. And just do the moves. Yeah. Just replicate the dancing that they do. So 2 years already. 2 years on VRChat. So that means you started VRChat in
Mhm.
2021, or was it 2020?
2021,
Yeah,
yes, it
2020,
was.
2021.
No, it's 2021.
Mm-hmm. What was like the vibe in 2021 when you first started? What was like the worlds you would go to, the friends you made, like the stuff you did? Like, what was like your first I guess, first experience of VR chat during that month?
My first experience before, okay, so my first day in VR chat,
It can be first
I was
day,
hanging out
first
with my
week.
IRL friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up getting offline after we were playing for a while, and he says I can go ahead and stay up and play more if I wanted to. At that time, I met these two guys who, one of them I'm still really good friends with, the other one kind of like drop off the face of the earth. We both don't hear from him.
Mm-hmm.
This person that I still talk to, I consider him like my brother because he looks and acts just like my brother. And we end up getting into a really deep talk about his mental health issues and also my mental health issues. And coming forward to today, I've noticed that like with VR chat, a lot of people do deal with mental health issues in this game. And a lot of people use it as like a form of an escape from reality, escape from themselves, or just like a second life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I was exposed to it at first. And, I wanted to hang out with him more and get to know him more and be like a friend and a support system for him. And it made me feel like I could like actually like feel more open to vocally about like what I've been going through and what I'm dealing with emotionally and mentally without feeling judgment of my peers, people I grew up with, or people I know IRL, what tends to be a problem for a lot of people in retrospect, when they face like, social anxiety. I feel like VRChat helps break down those walls and everything. And so eventually a month later I ended up getting my own headset. And so usually you'll be spending time with him and his friends, or I'm going in worlds like Black Hat. Because, that's I think that's everyone's starting point is Black Cat when he
Mm-hmm.
first are exposed to VR. And so like I would just like play music in Black Cat if I'm just online by myself, just running around worlds and stuff, standing in front of a mirror, half body dancing, and it's always like industrial music, like punk music, metal, stuff like that. And I met a lot of people that way, a lot of friends and stuff like that. And then so that was like how my first experience in VR. And then it slowly changed from there. It was so much easier making friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I think nowadays, being either a known user or a trusted user, it's harder to make friends because you spend a lot of time in VR chat enough to a point where like you find new users or visitors very annoying because a lot of them are here to like be crashers, blast like loud audio, or just to be like causing like a huge ruckus just for like the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's hard to pick out the people who are actually here for like games or like on the social like platform wise and stuff. Um, but I personally feel like the more higher rank you get in VR chat, the harder it is to make friends in that way. So you make more friends by being introduced to your friends, mutual friends. You make mutual friends and you get exposed to people that way.
Yeah.
At least that's my case.
Mm-hmm. What were your like favorite worlds that you would go to when you first started versus like right now still? Like, do you have any favorite VR chat worlds that like if you had like friends or new friends or old friends and you're like, hey, I found this world that I need to show you because it's like that good that it makes you that happy and it makes you that excited. Like you gotta show people. Like, do you have like a list of favorite worlds, new, like now, even from back then when you first started?
From when I first started, I don't remember what the world is called anymore. I don't have it favorited anymore. I'm pretty sure not a lot. I don't know a lot of people who have been there.
Mm-hmm. There she
Sorry.
go.
Let me
She
just
Tokyo drifting.
there I go. Yeah, I'm Tokyo drifting. I have very bad drifting. um, it's like a world that was like everything was black and air, but everything like the buildings, the trees, like the stars, the sky, everything was like outlined with rainbow hues, and it was constantly like moving and shifting. It was for like visual effects basically, and
Like a music
that's the one I like to
visualizer.
go to, especially like yeah, like a music visualizer. There's another one called five. I think it was called like Five Sages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you basically you spawn into this world and it's all black and it has a timeline, but it has a spawn area that you can click on. And one world is like all rainbow and bubbly, one world is all black and white with a UFO. It's a puzzle world, but like I like the like ambience of it, and like as you walk, but once you spawn in, all the stages connect to each other in a circle, so it gradually changes. And that's when I like to go to like one just to chill in and like visually look at everything and experience it with friends, or actually see if my friends can like solve the puzzle. That's when I first started
Mm-hmm.
VRChat. Nowadays, if I mostly just go to a movie and chill and like watch horror movies. I have friend groups for different things.
Yeah.
One of my other friend groups I mostly hang out with right now, we're binging horror movies from 1920s and working our way up to present day more horror movies right now. So right now we're like in the 70s right now. We just finished the Evil Dead series.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're about.
And
It's gonna get shit's about to get lit when you get to the 80s. That's when it kicks off. You're almost there to
yeah,
like the golden
yeah,
era of horror movies. You're almost there in that decade.
yes. um, so yeah, usually it's movie and chill, or I have this world called uh, actually, let me see what it's actually called. It's actually my home world, and I recently found it by accident. It's called Good Night Sleep. It's a cabin, and I usually just sit in there, listen to music, and a few friends. Usually, like if I feel like hanging out with people, but not like a lot. It's just a couple friends will come hang out with me. We'll drop like YouTube links or anything like that, and URL there and watch them, or just chill and vibe to music and just talk and stuff. Or I go to the great pug and drink.
Yeah. Honestly, that was like the first world that I joined and experienced in 2020. Like I remember when I started a VR chat. Like first place I went to was either Great Pug or it was like the original what was it called with the line game Never Have I Ever, but like the original very first map of that game. That and also the old Void Club, which is now a like a dead waste barren. No one goes there no more, which is sucks. But yeah, Great Pug. Nowadays it's just drinking night. Drinking night
Yeah,
became the most popular thing in the world now. It's it's crazy.
especially once it
When it
yeah,
got
especially when they made it quest compatible too.
yeah, because I remember like last year, it was like actually for 2 years in a row, it was Black Cat that was like the most populated VR chat worlds, and then now Drinking Night is like
Hmm.
above it now already. People are very
Hmm.
social in Drinking Night, you know,
For reasons, not
for reasons, yeah, for good reasons, right?
social lubricant.
hmm But honestly, I think I went to like those club drinking worlds because like it was like 18 plus adults only, there was like no kids,
Yeah,
underage, which is, is it I guess I kind
yeah.
of ask you that, like, the whole kids being in a game that can be exposed to like adult rated stuff, worlds, avatars.
Mm-hmm.
Should there be like a bigger restriction, be more strict on them, to allow kids that are joining on a game that even though it's rated, E or T, we've modded it to adult because of all the PPs, all that kind of
I
exposure.
personally think there should I personally think that there should be um a more restriction when it comes to accessing VR chat in general. But not just on VR chat side, but also like the parents had to be held responsible too as well. Because a lot of parents who give their children like 8-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, like the fucking quest. I'm sorry, I didn't. I don't know if I'm supposed to swear or
No,
not, but
you can, yeah, yeah. You can
the
say fuck.
quest. Okay, for like Christmas or birthdays and stuff like that, especially a lot for Christmas. Um, they just give it to them, like basically like here, slap a TV on her face. I don't care what you do. I'm just trying to get like, do whatever, get the kids out of like the way. And so they don't really know like what kind of games they could be exposed to and stuff like that. Especially with like VR chat being like, free to
Mm-hmm.
access and everything. And I feel like a lot of parents don't know what actually goes on in VR chat when it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to like more of the darker side, the
Yeah, the
adult
dark
side of
side.
VR chat,
Cause
which
if
tends to
you
be
Yeah,
which
yeah. Because if you go on like the website and stuff and you see like trailers, advertisements of how friendly and fun and like almost like this Roblox rec room kind of, vibe that they're trying to give off. And then
mm-hmm,
as soon as you jump into the game and just like, you meet people,
nothing like that.
but you meet the people that will show you, like age party shenanigans, Club J private rooms,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but like with when it comes to restrictions, I think like I get like how like Meta take over the on the Quest part of it. You gotta have a Facebook to link up and all that stuff. But like kids still can still bypass that and link their parents' Facebook or their like
Mm-hmm.
older sister or siblings or something's Facebook and stuff like that. I think they should change that. Well, I know they took that restriction off of it when it comes to the Quest. You don't need a Facebook linked up to it no more, from what I last recall. But I think they should change not just the Quest, but like all like VR headsets in general that connects to um VR chat. Like it's a VR chat thing. Like they VR chat should have come up with restrictions like age restrictions. I think at the lowest maybe like 16 or 18. But
Mm-hmm.
like you had to go by extra credentials to access certain worlds or like avatar lock or something like that if you're like not 18 or something. But that just makes a lot of more work for the VR chat developers, which a lot of people know they don't want to actually put in the work.
Yeah. Ain't got the truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no, that was like a really good question, very good answers, so thank you, Helvetti. Let's see. The meaning behind your name. How did you get the name Helvetti? Where did it originate from? What is the lore, the story behind it?
So Helvetti is actually what I go by IRL actually.
Oh.
Um it was my art tag. Mhm. Um well, before it was Helvetti, it used to be Hellcat Jen, and Jen derives from my actual legal name. Don't worry, Jen is not. It's
Mm-hmm.
if you were to use Jen to guess my legal name, no one would ever guess what it is because my name does not start with Jen. Jen is just happens to be somewhere in that word. But anyways, with Hellcat Jen, like I used it since like elementary, middle school. And about high school, I kind of, well, about like soon after high school, I kind of got tired of using it for so long. It's like, I want something like that doesn't sound too, I don't know. I felt like outgrown Hellcat Gen. So I wanted to keep the hell aspect of it. And
Mhm.
that's how I ended up coming up with Helvetti, because Helvetti is a Finnish Norwegian word that translates to hell. And I since changing that, like that's why I go by like on Instagram and like Twitter and stuff like that. And that's like my sign when I sign my artwork and everything. And it's been like that long before I was ever exposed to VR chat. So like I know how
Mhm.
like a lot of people in VR chat they create a name specifically for VR chat. My name just came with me when I came into VR chat. And like my IRL sister calls me by Helvetti. People at work calls me by Helvetti, even though it's not my legal name and everything. And yeah, and I've been going by this for like over almost a decade now, and I came close to like legally changing it to that, which I'm probably not gonna do anymore. But I will still keep it though. Now to still be referred to as Helvetti.
That's really amazing. No, I did not know that at all. Um, and you do art, right? Like, what kind of art do you do? Like, what's your
What
art
was that?
style? Like, what kind of art?
Well, I do a little bit of everything from like spray painting. I used to do like a lot of graffiti when I used to live in Arizona. Um, I do a lot of like manga style art, comic style art, hand drawn, ink drawn paintings. I do like paintings and portraits and abstract art. I've done like a few sculptures and clay work and jewelry work as well. I do DIY clothing, like pretty much a dab of everything. Lately, I've been getting into digital art and I have no training in it whatsoever. Everything I do is self taught. I
Mhm.
like learning things, but the moment I have to take a class to learn something, I immediately lose interest. I rather do it myself and learn how to do it rather than someone tell me to do something. Hey, you should learn this. I don't
Mhm.
want to learn.
Yeah.
Um, so with the digital art thing and also being exposed to like VR chat, like I just recently started getting into like Unity and Blender. Blender's more new. I just got into Blender like about
Mhm.
2, 3 weeks ago.
And Blender as in like doing art, or Blender as in like more of avatar creation, like avatar customization, like sculptures, you know.
Avatar customizations, but eventually I want to be able to create avatars from the ground up from scratch.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think I've seen some of your work that you've posted on the Discord servers, you know. And I guess I wanted to ask you more like
Mhm.
how did you get into that, you know? You know, when you start in VR chat, you know, you do like the hanging out, the exploring, and then after a while comes the creative part, you know, create worlds, create avatars, edit them, you know. When did you start to like develop an interest into like creating and editing, you know, avatars for VR chat, even for your own custom, you know?
Yeah, I would have to say about 6 months to a year. I am very bad with like time frame, but it's about like 6 months to a year ago. I kind of became interested in it. Um, but I didn't actually start like actually trying to learn Unity or even download it whatsoever until like maybe 3 months ago. Um, and a lot of it was due to editing to like, oh, like I'll see some like really fucking beautiful avatars in um VR chat, and a lot of them will have like a lot of toggles to like a lot of like very like crazy like animations and special effects to them.
Mhm.
And like I seen this one avatar before, and it was just when I was drinking in a public lobby, and someone's like, "Oh, look at this!" Like, because we're just sharing avatars, like that we liked and stuff like that. And it's like, this is the one I'm working on. I'm still like currently trying to edit, and they played it, and it did like a whole dance, but it brought like two more people like from its avatar out to dance with them. But it was like really pretty, and it did like a whole like it changed the entire world around them, and it was like amazing. music video. Like to me, I was drunk. It felt like a music video. It's like it went on for like at least like a minute and a half. It was pretty. It was a
Yeah,
really long animation. It's like how did I have a really bad PC? It's like how did that not
you
fucking
know.
crash me? But it was amazing. And why I wanted to learn how to customize and edit Abby's and eventually make my own is because I want to bring my own artwork to life in VR so that way I can wear them and wear them as characters and just have fun with them and stuff
Yeah, like express
and see
yourself through
what more I can
your
do
art
art
and your
wise.
creation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, especially like with my whole thing. Um, I love like punk music, like metal and all that stuff, and I love aliens, and so my favorite color is like green. I try to incorporate green in everything I have, and I love goats. So like I used to be satanic. Now I'm just spiritual. I not follow any religion. But my whole thing is alien goat girl. So and so like my Discord name is Gosha, which is supposed to be like goat, but
Mhm. And with a lot of your Abbeys, like I've noticed you have a very like interesting taste and style, and like they all look really good. By the way, the one that you're wearing right now. Like,
thank you.
what kind of styles do you go for when you look at new avatar models? For VR chat. Like, what's your like your taste in VR models avatars?
So when I actually look at avatars, I don't see them as finished products. So if I find something I like, I'm like, oh, I like that. If I add the horns I like from my character, like from my OC onto it, I add the ears, I add the hair, and change the color scheme to that fits me. Everything else about the avatar is perfect. I might have to like edit the face texture to make it like makeup that I would actually wear IRL or change at the top or something because I like the more like I don't ever get an avatar and I never upload it where as I got it, like like either bought or if it was a free Abby, I never upload it as the product that it was given to me as.
Mm-hmm.
I upload it after I play around with it first, make it a little bit of my own that fits me and everything, and then upload it. I like the more like edgy style. I was a huge emo kid in middle school, throughout high school. High school, I became like more goth and punk and stuff like that. Um, I am huge into like punk music and on the alternative scene, and like I like bright neon things as well because I like to go into like raves and stuff like that, IRL and everything. So like, and I just love aliens and goats. So like, alternative alien goat girl, let's go.
Yeah, Alien Go Girl. Yeah.
And but like when it comes, yes, and like when I see Abby's, I want it to be more like this one. I been wearing a lot recently since I got it. It gives me like kind of like a it gives me like femme vibes a little bit, but you can also easily like oh like this person like if you were to try to guess a non-binary, like I'm a non-binary person, I prefer he, him, they, them. People, a lot of people call me she, her. Only like I get that it's fine. Like I biologically am a female. I do have a female voice. It's fine. I'm not like super like I don't know if I can say the word anal. I'm not
Anal.
super anal about it.
I like that word. No, I like
I'm
anal.
not Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Same. You and me both. But like, but yeah, I'm not super anal about it if people get my pronouns wrong because like I go by any pronouns. It's just that I prefer like it's kind of like a preference, like things down. Prefer this more than this, but all of them are okay. Because technically I'm not any of them because I'm non-binary. And so like this avatar, I like to go for like the non-binary looking avatars, and this one can also switch from female to male. Like there's a toggle to make it into a femboy.
Oh,
And I used to wear a lot of femboy abbies too when I first started VRChat.
okay. So like at the beginning, when you started, like 2021, were like your first avatars were like all
Hmm.
femboy, or were there like something before that that in like inspiration like drawn you to like femboy to like non-binary
Um,
female something
when I
Abby's now.
when I first started VR chat, the avatars I wore and around were all like red skinned demon girls, to
Mm-hmm.
fit the theme of my
Yeah.
name, hell. And
Yes.
so, like, when I first started, it was more of like, I'm in here for fun and as a character, and, kind of portray myself as my OC, and I don't, there's not going to be an avatar out there that's, directly inspired from my OC. And that's the whole reason why I got also into like, avatar editing and wanted to get into creation too, is so I can create my OC to wear in VR. But when I was in the beginning, it was all demon girls, red skin, succubus, stuff like that. As long as I had like horns and red skin, that's all I wore. And then I realized, oh, I can be anything I want in here. I want to be more comfortable, like in my skin and everything like that. And I see a lot of people use this as a social platform. Like some people use it as a game, like a game platform, but a lot of people use it as a social platform, which by the time I start slowly making it into a social platform, that's when I start seeing a lot more femboy Abbies and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I like this. I'm comfortable in this. This is comfy to wear. So that's how I got exposed to wearing femboy Abbies.
Hmm. There was like a I don't remember the exact time because well, like I can like give an estimate. It was like around August 2021. That's like when I first met you through like mutuals from Legends. Like, how did you get introduced to
Mm.
like Legends? Like me, Jade. The whole gang. Like, how do you remember that going or how that happening?
Yeah, I think that timeline is correct. About like August is when I first joined the server. I met a few of you guys before that, like probably like a month before that. Um, but August in 2021, I started dating someone from the Legends, and we were together for a year and a half, up to like 3 months ago. Um, and he introduced me to everybody. He introduced me to Jade first, and then you and Zero, and then I met like through him also met Nay. Well, from both of you actually,
Mm-hmm.
and those were you guys were the core people in the Legends that I was mainly hanging around with. Before I started getting more comfortable with everybody else and got to meet like Tate and Duckies and everybody. So yeah, it's like I met him through someone that I wasn't dating yet, but a couple weeks later we were dating. Yeah.
Cool. And you've been around so long that like you've probably been like getting familiar with a lot of the people in the VC or in VR chat mostly. Been keeping up to date with like a lot of the Legends parties and just pop up events that we have. Either at Club J or somewhere else. But yeah, like can you I'd like to know what was your favorite like Club J or not Club J more Legends. What was your favorite Legends event that we've had? That like it was like man, that was like a cool ass party. I will never forget that. What party like do you remember like gave you that feeling?
um. Well, I frankly had like a lot of good times, and a lot of them are either similar or very different
Mm-hmm.
from each individual party. And it all like um there's all well of course like Jade's at like at least most of them. He's always there in most of them. Um but like sometimes I notice that like not everyone is at every single party. Like there's certain parties that some people will be and some other parties where they're like, oh, like not this one,
Mm-hmm.
And so like when I join, it's like, oh, it's like, I see everyone's together. There's probably a party going on. I'm gonna go join. Let me check the server real quick, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
do that. It's like, all right, party time. Let's drink. Let's party. Let's vibe. Let's hang out and stuff. But the one I wouldn't say it was like like the grandest, It's
Mm-hmm.
not nothing bad about it whatsoever. It just that the one that just sticks out to me like the most just happens to be, I think it was like the second time I met Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Like by this time we were already on each other's friends list, and there was a party going on at Club J, and the party. I was there for a few hours. The party started dying down. People were getting offline. People had work or school or whatever, or going off to like different worlds to hang out with like their partners or like a different friend group or whatever. So whoever was still in a world was either chilling on the main dance floor and hanging out by whoever was playing music on the dance floor. And then so I went to go explore to see who else was in the world. And that's when I went to the plush room, and there was quite a few people in there. And people just, chilling, talking, and stuff like that. But there Kate was, ERPing in front of a group of people
Yeah, sounds about
with
right.
someone. Yeah, so like I strongly remember that, and that's how I remember Tate. Like it's like, oh, that's my first memory of him. So yeah, that party stuck out the
So,
most because like that was like something I was ever like exposed to that. Well, I was exposed to stuff like that before. I mean, like not like in a group setting though, where voyeurism and exhibitionists.
mm-hmm. No, there was like this one time. It was like at one of the Legends anniversary parties. That was like last year in April. Me and my girlfriend, we were doing Tokyo Ghoul ERP in the restroom. Then Tate walked in on us. It was kind of a funny interaction, and he remembers that too. Like that's like one of his favorite interactions that he has had with me and Nay. Yeah, besides that one, where that one was like, anyone can walk in at any moment, but it was funny because we were in Tokyo Ghoul avatars.
Hmm.
Mostly, me and her just be like, if there's a party, we'll just like sneak into like one of the private rooms and just do a quickie and then come back, be like, hey guys, party. Party, right? There's a party.
Right. There's a party. Let's
Mm-hmm.
let's party.
Yep. I'm still gonna bust it up, but still, yeah, we gotta go back to the party. They're probably wondering where we went. They know. Yeah. Let's see. Legends of Van, Custom Heavy. Oh yeah, like Unity. Did you have to learn how to use Unity Blender like on your own, or did you like get like help, or even like tutorial videos on YouTube? Like, was it like a little hard to learn all that?
um,
Like the process, you know?
I would say to say the process I went down, it's hard to learn. um, I don't like being told what to do. I'm very stubborn. I have attention span issues. Um, I have a mind of a goldfish. So I self-taught everything myself just by messing around and randomly clicking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, took me way longer than than it's supposed to upload my first Abby as a test. um, and then I was like, okay, let's actually watch a tutorial. So I brought up YouTube and watched a tutorial, and it was only like a 3 to 5 minute tutorial. 30 seconds in, I'm like sitting here at my desk, just clicking the screen to like skip like 5-10 seconds ahead, and I'll like keep doing it. This is boring. I don't like this. I don't know what they're talking about. Basically, I only heard like maybe 5 to 10 seconds worth of like audio from that video. I purposely did not watch it, so it's like, all right, whatever. Let's just get into the nitty gritty of it. Let's just learn everything by randomly clicking things. Hopefully, I don't break nothing. So everything I do is self taught. Um, I just end up figuring it out myself. And when things got too hard and I break something, and no matter what I do, or even I start over and I still can't fix an Abby to have it become uploadable, then yeah, then I'll ask somebody. And so far, I only had to ask like 3 times, and each time it was a different person.
And now you're here where you are, like the just the goat of the demon goat of just doing Unity work. You like your Abbies look amazing every time you hop on with something
Thank
new.
you. Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, we're about to get to the nitty gritty in my notes. What are your thoughts on e-dating on VRChat?
E-dating. That's that's a hard question to answer only because one, I just got out of like my most like my first and serious e e-dating relationship.
Yeah.
Um, I've done long distance before, dating before. They tend not to work out. Um, and then when I got to expose to VR chat, my first relationship only lasted a month, and it was like nothing too serious or anything. Um, but I kind of got pressured into dating them. And I'm like, okay, is this like, I wasn't sure about it. Is this like do they consider it long distance like dating, or is it just like, just in VR only, like, like kind of like a role play thing?
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure, but they considered it like actual like dating, like long distance dating. Um, it ended because they're the one that broke up with me, and a lot of drama came from that. It was with my first main friend group too. And I only talked to two people from that friend group now. 2 years later, I only talk to two people from that friend group. I don't talk to anybody else in that friend group no more. Half of those people have me blocked, due to like false like information and everything like that. The guy I was with said that I been cheating on him and left him for another dude and started dating that person the same day. When I didn't start dating someone new until like 2 months later. Um, but it turns out he was actually cheating on me the whole time, and he immediately got into a new relationship with that girl. Uh, like an hour or two after we broke up. So like I noticed with like VR chat, like it tends to be like a lot of drama, whether it comes to like friend circles or when it comes to like relationship stuff. So like, it's nice for people who can do it right, but it's very difficult for people who don't know how to approach it or what to
Mm-hmm.
expect, or who don't have good boundary set or good communication skills. Because with e-dating, it's just like regular dating, like you got to make sure you're no relationship can work if there's no communication and
Mm-hmm.
there's no trust. And um like I'm for it cuz like I've been long distance dating since I was in high school. Of course I dated people like locally too, and with my last relationship um that I met in VR, that I met him through VR. He actually moved across the country for me and moved in with me. So he lives here where I live now. We don't live together no more, but he lives here, and we're trying to like, work things out to be friends and stuff. Um, you know, some I'm I'm not really I have a like kind of like an indifference about e-dating because it's just normal dating to me. Like it is what it is. Like if I end up developing feelings for someone and end up dating them, then if it happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could say with that, I'm for it. I
Mm.
guess
Yeah, like
I have no other way how else.
yeah, like at the end of the day,
Mm,
RL, connections through social media, through work, through any kind of long distance network platform, Discord gaming, love is love, love will always
yeah,
find a way. And
yeah,
and even,
yeah.
to
It's,
like how dating and like, uh how sometimes it can be touchy, well not touchy, but like it could be a difficult subject depending on like, the time and event of being asked the question. But again, I want to let you just say thank you, because like uh your
mhm.
your experiences and only your insight, it can like definitely go a long way to help people who like probably don't know like this culture part of VR chat and stuff like that. So it can definitely like
Yes,
help not give people knowledge to let them know, hey, before you get into this, just know like know what you're getting into first, and Because, like you said, it can be good for a lot of people, but it can
Yes.
go completely wrong for a lot of people at the same time, if people don't know what they're doing.
Yes. Yes. And I just think when it comes down to it, it only works if you and the other person wants to make it work. Like if you guys were actually go through all the efforts to make it work. Just like the core values is like you need a good foundation with like uh communication, honesty, trust, you know, like the basic necessities. Like that's all you need is like the basic necessities when it comes to relationship. Then if you do long distance date, that's totally fine. But like um my advice is if anyone does date, um at least meet them in person a couple times. If you guys were ever to like get more serious or end up moving in together or moving in the same town together or something. Because virtually chemistry may be different than chemistry is while you guys are
Mm-hmm.
in person, you know?
Yeah.
Because with VRChat being here virtually, it does let people bring down a few walls and to be more either themselves, but for some people it's more like, oh, I'm kind of myself, but kind of not at the same time. So, like, and some people can be like, oh, I could be myself, but without certain aspects of myself that I don't have to show in VR at all. Like there's like different multiple groups of how people express themselves in here, whether it's 100% truly them or just like a portion of them. So, like, you don't like your chemistry may not be the same as it is in person. And we kind of made that mistake by not um by moving too fast is basically
Mm-hmm.
and like sometimes you can be exposed to people like different parts of the world or different parts of the country who you would never have a chance to meet before if you weren't exposed to VRChat. So when it comes to like e-dating, like I do think it's a beautiful thing, especially like when it comes to like just long distance in general, long distance dating. VRChat does give you a sense of being there in person with them for a little bit. It's kind of like you can experience their presence without actually being there in person with them, which is a really nice feeling.
Mm-hmm. It definitely helps bridge that long distance gap.
Yes.
It fills in that void, and I know. I think me and her both know. Yeah.
Hmm.
But no,
Hmm.
thank you, Helvetti. Um,
You're
Now
welcome.
I would like to know some tips on ERP. Got any safety tips for that?
ERP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, don't break your lovin's. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, so you're saying that's happened then?
Yeah,
Oh,
recently recently
oh,
my it broke mid session and I was like I okay, we had to stop because like what he said just made me like fucking die. Like I said, hold on, we gotta stop. Like, oh my god, I think my Lovins is broke. And the thing is, the buttons, like everything still turns on. The button still makes it like vibrate and rotate and stuff like that. It's just that the mechanics inside of it literally snapped in half inside of me. So like nothing moves or vibrates or anything. And they're like, I was like, damn, that pussy's so tight, it broke your shit. And I just start dying. It's like, I'm sorry, we can't finish. I'm sorry. Like, it literally, I would never thought that, like, my fucking dildo in front of me would just, like, snap in half. So,
was it
like, don't break your lovins.
was it like on its last life already? Has it like been through a lot, or did you just like muster the strength to like just snap that shit off?
No, I have quite actually a few different lovins toys and stuff. So, like, it wasn't use a lot because I don't ERP a lot or like masturbate in general a lot either by myself or anything. I may come off as sometimes depending on the friend group I'm with, I either come off like just like super like bubbly or like a mute or like wholesome, and then other groups I could like like a complete degenerate or like a lewd sexualized person, but I'm actually not like super sexual when it comes down to it. It makes me feel awkward.
Mm.
So like in order for me to like do that, it takes a lot for a person to like make me feel comfortable to like ERP with them. um so no, like it hasn't been through a lot, so like it just it just it broke. I'm sorry, it
It
broke.
broke.
But
But you have a
I
spare.
told
You.
I told Jade this. Yeah, I do
Mm.
have spares and stuff. Well, I don't have another Nora. That's the one I need to get. I have like the fairy and the lush and all that stuff, but I need to get another Nora. But I told Jade this, and I was talking to Duckies too, and they're like, oh my god. And he's like, why did he tell me that? And he ran away, and I thought it was so funny. I was like, I'm sorry, too much information.
Little.
But like if you don't have a love ins for someone who like wants to like experience ERPing with someone, uh go old school, use your hands, I guess. But at
Hmm.
the same time, it's like,
Yeah.
uh if you're full body, do it. If you're half body, it's okay. If the person likes you enough, they will not judge you on being half body. If you're a desktop user, don't do it. Everyone's gonna give you shit for it and laugh at you.
Wise words. Wise words from Helvetti.
Yeah.
Now, now in my situation, they're half body now. They're in half body. But in my
Mm,
situation last year, they had the connect hussy. It still felt good. That's all. I just wanted to say I did it with someone who had a connect. They use the connect for full body,
oh my
but I call it the connect
oh my
hussy.
god, how? Yeah.
They
Oh my god, they
they're
cannot turn or nothing then. They're gonna make sure they stay
um
positioned in the facing it then.
from what I remember,
Cause
she had to just either lay down, prop up, or just cowgirl it. You know.
not a whole lot of fun experiencing different positions in here then, I guess.
I do remember every time I did it with
Which is
her on
interesting. You can
Connect when she had the Connect, but now she's a full body. My girlfriend's now full
Mhm.
body. Oops. But yeah.
Yeah, oops. Oops, now you
uh,
know who it is. Name
yep.
drop.
Yep. Name drop. I was gonna name drop her no matter what. She knows me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, no, there was like not
Yeah,
a time in when she had the
what do you
Connect.
call
She never lost tracking during any of it. Yeah,
Oh,
I do not
nice.
remember. Either that, I was just
Um,
so drunk out of my mind, or I passed out. Either or, it still felt good.
um, another thing about like ERPing, I would have to say is if you like a person but you don't want to, you don't have to. I met a few, quite a few, not a lot, but I met a few people in VR who have told me about their experiences and said that they didn't like it. And like, but they still continue to do it with their partners or their person that they're like, who is their like fuck buddy and whatnot, only because that's what they want. So, well, what do you want? And it's like, well, I just realized I think I might be asexual or demi or something. I said, okay, well then that's a conversation you need to have with that person. So
Mm-hmm.
like, you don't have to if you don't want to, like and with VRChat, a lot of peer pressure does come in here. Like a lot of like what you experience socially in the real world, you can also experience socially here. Just like like there's dark sides of like the internet, and there's dark sides of VRChat when it comes to grooming. That
Mm,
happens in this game, unfortunately, and
yeah.
which shouldn't be a thing. And that's why we need better age restrictions in this game.
Mm-hmm. Have you
Yeah.
ever experienced a lot of parasocial people have developed relationships and feelings with you just because of your chat?
Um, I am a very dumb, stupid person. I don't know the meaning of that word.
Oh,
Clarify, please.
oh, okay. No, no worries. Parasocial. Parasocial means someone who probably had like a okay, for example, someone recently met you in VRChat, right? They they
Mhm.
liked you at after a small talk with me and you, they became your friend. Y'all might have cuddled, y'all might have gave head pats, and all of a sudden they get off, and then the next day they're like in your DMs trying to slide in. They just develop this in their head like they're a couple with you already, even though you don't know them that well that yet. Like
Yes.
yeah, it's kind of like kind of like with VTubers
Just
too.
flat out.
This it's like this it's a very occurrence with VTubers, especially with my girlfriend. She be experiencing people like develop feelings just because she be on stream, or she be replying to like messages and stuff, and then people get in their heads because they got issues, and they're like they become very stalkerish.
My
They become very stalker like with someone who they probably don't even know that well at all. You know what I mean?
mhm. Yes. Yep. I'm gonna answer that question, but before I answer, I'm gonna answer simply. The simple answer is flat out yes.
Mm-hmm.
Flat out yes. Um, so before I got into my uh long serious relationship um in VR before that ended, um I had to drop a lot of friends and a lot of friend groups, and not just on VR, but people that I end up becoming friends with them on Discord as well as Facebook. And rarely I give out my Snap and my phone number, which I don't give out to people. I never had to like block someone's phone number or Snap because I'm very selective when it comes to those two options. Um, but I had to drop a lot of people when I first started dating my last partner.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to be a very oblivious person. Um, a lot of people took my kindness as me being interested or flirting. Um, and sometimes I just say shit and I say it because it's funny and or I think it's funny. I'm not a funny person. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm funny though. But um I had literally I had to delete my old server, which is my first server I had. And now I prefer to be part of my friends' servers rather than have my own now. My first server I had two and they're both deleted now. Um, Nothing but Sims. The whole thing doesn't matter if you're male or female. The whole thing was Sims. Followed me everywhere. Everyone called me mommy. That was a whole era I had that I had to leave behind. He got super jealous, and rightfully so. Like, I didn't notice it at first. I'm very oblivious. He had to point it out. My sister has to point it out. My IRL sister also plays VR chat, so I'll meet some of her friends. She'll meet some of my friends. And my sister does not like people. It's very rare for her to like people. So coming from a social game, she leaves and drops people all the time. She's just like, oh, I'm bored, like or like, oh, they said something that I don't like. It's very
Mm-hmm.
annoying. It's hard to please her. So when she meets with a lot of my friends, from that first year and that whole era that I went through, um, she didn't like a lot of them, and she also had to point it out when my boyfriend at the time told me that, oh, like, they're just being simps, they like you, they said this, like, no, didn't, and she's like, yeah, they did say that. It's like they did. I didn't even hear them, or like I didn't even pay attention. Like I don't pay attention to that type of stuff. So like like it just goes over my head or out my ear and then out the other, and I'm like, oh, okay, haha. And also doesn't help that like I'm very selective hearing and also hard hearing, so and attention span issues. So, but I, yeah, like I used to have like a whole like simp army, and I wasn't aware of it. And now that I'm single again, I have a small handful of people who are in my DMs that I'm starting to noticing uh, uh similar behaviors
Mm-hmm.
or similar mannerisms,
Yeah.
and I'll talk to my sister about it. She's like, yeah, I don't like them now. And I'm like, okay, okay. So like, yeah. I was like, she doesn't like it when anybody sims after me. She doesn't. Like she's very possessive. So
Oh.
but yeah, so like so there is a person that I do have to talk to eventually. I kind of been avoiding them for a week now. um, they're like they're calling me hun, they're calling me sweetie, they called me a baby a few times, and I think if I recall correctly, they did slip out the word love, I think. And I'm like, oh, haha, I gotta go back to work. No phones allowed on property. So, like,
Yikes!
so,
Yikes!
like, yeah, so, like, I was like, oof, and everything like that. And then, like, I was hanging out with some of my recently new friend group I had that I've known for, like, maybe, like, 3 or 4 months now. And we're just all drinking and partying, this is, like, about, like, a couple weeks ago. And that person ended up joining me, and I was just like drinking and being a DJ for everybody. We're just hanging out in the pug and just like vibing and stuff like that. And I had like maybe like a few friends from different friend groups that were just hanging out with me and stuff. And that person just sat like on the outside of the group, staring, quiet, just following us around everywhere. And
Mm.
uh, I guess not getting enough attention from me. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm glad you had fun." Blah blah blah. And then he got offline and changed his Discord status to something very like cringy email. So
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, okay, this is obviously a problem. This is obviously a simp right here. This is obviously
mm,
someone who thinks
yeah,
there's something going on when there isn't. So
mm,
yes, long answer short. Yes.
yeah. Like even like you know, kindness. People mistake kindness for like too
Flirt,
flirty. Like
too
too
friendly or
friendly, too letting
flirting.
into. It's like mixed signals. But like this is just how people just interact on social VR platform. The hip pats are welcome. The
Mm-hmm.
hugs, cuddles. All that. People
Mm-hmm.
be getting too attached way too easily in this game. That's just it.
Wait, especially men. I noticed.
Especially men. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
not
Yeah.
men, especially boys. Especially boys. Men are different, especially boys.
Gotcha. Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
But yeah, let me see what else I got. Um. Oh, what are your favorite like VR chat like world games that like they have? Like, do you like the pool tables? Do you like the drinking games? Uh, Murder, Never Have I Ever. Is there any like fun game worlds that you like? Even horror maps.
when I'm Oh, I love horror maps. I
Mm-hmm.
do. I love horror maps so much. And um especially like if someone hasn't played one before, I'll like go do it with them. Or if I haven't been to one before, they're, oh, like have you been to this one? I'm like, no, so like we'll go and stuff. So I love horror maps, and like I don't scare easily, but I do get surprised easily. So, because most of
Mm-hmm.
the games in horror maps are just like, jump scares. That's
Yeah.
all it is. So like I'm the person who likes scream and jump and like immediately start laughing.
Hell
And
yeah.
um I do like get to know your friends better like game, like the game map and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually I'll go there like if I end up meeting a new friend and we're hanging out for a while and like like if we're drinking or just chilling and we have nothing to do, like hey, like want to go here and play this game? Like, sure. And like half the time we'll finish the game and never talk to each other again, or we continue being friends. Which is, like sometimes people just never come back on VR, it happens. Or people get, they have closer friends they want to spend more time with instead, which happens, Like, I don't really try to take this game too seriously when people come and go. When I first started VRChat, I was very invested in the people I was friends with, and too much that it was causing my mental health problems to be more erratic and um be more depressed and stressed and everything like that because I always took care of myself last and made sure everyone else was,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I supported them. I gave all my efforts to make sure everyone was okay, and it turns out some of them were like in a bad place and they needed that, and then the other half they just wanted it because they liked the attention I gave them, and they liked my mothering, nurturing side, and that's what they wanted, and they thought, oh, the more attention she gives me, it must mean she cares, it must mean that she likes me, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's from like the sim side of like the friends list, and so like after like maybe a year of that, and I'm like, oh, I hate this game. I'm so stressed, and like, you and dealing with like other people's drama, like, because this game can be pretty much full of drama too. But now it's like, oh, drama's happening, haha, like, laugh, but like, oh, trying to get me involved? No, I got nothing to do with this. Leave me out of that shit, kind of thing. It's like, I'm just here to have fun now. So, like, I'm not trying to get totally invested when it comes to like putting my all into everything. Like I will for people I do clarify like as friends and stuff like that and stuff, but like not so much for like if it causes me mental health problems. Like everyone should always take care of their mental health. Um but yeah, so usually it's like the I don't know what happened there. It's usually like those games and because of that game that's what I kind of had to notice with like my first year in VR, and things has been a lot better now, especially like when it comes to, like learning who to trust and who to let into my circle because like even though like because I know I met most of the legends as a mute and everything like that, and this game has helped me a lot with being able to be more vocal and like kind of push my social anxiety to the side and stuff like that and break out a little bit more. And now I talk all the time, and then it's like, oh my god, it's like it's as if I'd never talked before. But like, it's true because I grew up not talking a lot because I was always told like not to talk, like, hey, we're talking here, or I will talk and people will talk over me, and I'm like, oh, okay, like So like this helped me a lot with like talking and be more comfortable with that and stuff. I know we kind of got off topic a little bit, but yeah, like I like those
Mm.
games and I like this game, and I don't see it as a game, I see it as a social platform.
Yeah. And it's a very pros and cons nice, social platform, you know?
Yeah, it depends how you approach it and how you
Mm.
handle it, because then it could be a really fun game and you can get the most out of it.
Mm-hmm. What's your
And you just
opinion?
gotta think like
Yeah.
some people.
Oh, I was gonna let you finish. My bad. You were saying?
Oh, I said I know like some people in this game could get too invested and too
Yeah.
like butthurt when they get invested in someone, like even if it's just on like on a friend platonic level and they don't hang out no more, don't talk to each other more, and they just disappear from them or whatever like that. Like sometimes you just gotta remember like not everyone is permanent. People are in stages of their life for a reason. Not everyone's gonna stay. Some people stay longer than others, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of similar to like what I was about to ask. Like it's a very mental health related question on VR chat. Like what's your like thoughts on people that like like it's positive to use this platform to like help with anything that's going on, and to like have that social friend group connection, and have like people like always reach out to go to on a VR chat. And but like how do you feel about those that like just basically live in VR chat only, it's like that's like their only like form of like a social just way how they live, like there's like no IRL connection, no going out, friends, but like just it's
Hmm.
just it only stays like in here.
Yeah, I understand. I recall hearing of one person before who spends all their time in VR, and it's like all waking hours, and like they're even if their headset dies and stuff, it stays like desktop
Mhm.
open all the time and stuff like that. Um, but they're disabled, so they couldn't really like leave their house and stuff, and like
Mhm.
like they're physically disabled. And I think that could be like a really like nice, like if they don't have a lot of like people in their lives like locally and stuff like that, then yeah, this game can be like a really nice way for them to like be socially open And, because human nature, they crave connection with other humans. So, like, for that instance, it can be a really good thing for them.
Yeah.
But for people who chooses that life
Mm-hmm.
to live in VR, like constantly 24 hours every day, it's very unhealthy. They're strongly limiting themselves and they're letting, like, yeah, like you'll make some friends and stuff like that, but I personally think, people won't be part of this game forever.
Yeah,
I
no, I
think
agree.
this
Yeah.
game will eventually come to an end one day and it will just become obsolete. The next big thing is, maybe soon, maybe a couple years from now, maybe a decade from now, but one day this game will become obsolete. And, and people who uses this as like not just a second life, but like,
Mm-hmm.
their life,
Like it's like a false sense,
their
like
life is
a,
gonna fly
it's definitely like a false sense
false
of
sense of
a
security.
that, yeah, it's security and like a false sense of a social life, and they just lose,
Mm.
just
Touch of
reality.
reality.
They just stay out, they just get out of touch of reality.
Yeah, and like that is like that can be very unhealthy because then their life is just gonna flash before their eyes, and when this game does become obsolete, or like when they like you know they just or maybe they get tired of people coming and going and not staying in VRChat as long as they have and stuff like that. They might just get bored of it by then. At that time, like, damn, they might think that they wasted their time in here, which I think people don't have to find this game as a waste of time if they can balance their life with life in VR as well. It has to be a healthy balance and stuff. Like sometimes I don't come on for like a day, sometimes I don't come on for like a couple of weeks. I'm usually on at least a couple times a month though. Like I never go a month without at least coming online to like hang out with friends and stuff like that once. But like if I don't come online, the people I met in here, like that I truly value as friends, like like one I don't like I deal with like a lot of like life stuff and mental health stuff, so like I may not message them as frequently as I would like to, or maybe frequently as they would like to, but like I still try to remember to like like reach out to them like on Discord or like their phone or like other social media platforms that we have each other.
Mm-hmm.
But like I also make a point to hang out with my family and people I'm still friends with that I met in high school or grew up with and stuff. So like, so sometimes like, I'm not online or active on Discord because, I'm also balancing my IRL social, like locally, like social life as well. And but this game can be like a really good tool for people who deal with like a lot of like mental health issues. So it's a great way for them to like use it as a tool to break out of the shell when it comes to like social anxiety. Like I have social anxiety and regular anxiety, so I'm always overthinking. So even if I become completely clear away from social anxiety, I would still always have anxiety there no matter what, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that part of me will ever go away. Um, a lot of people use it as like for body dysmorphia for people who are like um who have anorexia, bulimia, and who just doesn't like themselves, as their body and stuff like that, they can be anything they want in here. So like yeah, like they can escape reality a little bit and feel more comfortable in their skin because they don't have to physically see their skin. They can wear something that fits like, oh, like this feels like me, or people come in here and say, I don't want to be human and let me just be like a fucking walking around meme and wear, like Curse Abby's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm lagging.
No, you're good. You're good. I see you. You're still here.
Um,
There you are. Hello.
Hello. 1 second. So okay, so I won't be able to move. My screen went black, so I'm gonna stay still. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Um, okay. So like I was saying, like, can you still hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can still hear you and I can still see you. You are still in camera.
Uh, okay, no, I'm looking at my desktop right now. But like I was saying though, is like they can be like some people can be in this game and be like, just a walking, talking meme, just wearing like cursed abbeys in here for fun and shits and giggles and shit like that, which is like which is nice too. Like it's nice to have fun and like let go and just like have like whatever. But like for like I do have family members and friends who are also trans. So like when it comes to the body dysmorphia, it does make them feel better. And like it kind of fits into that femboy side of like VRChat, where like males wear like girl abbeys, because a lot of people will do it body dysmorphia, and that might make them feel better being in this game because they can actually have that body if they don't have the resources or the funds to have like a procedure if they want that. Um, but for like mental health issues, when it comes to like depression and suicidal thoughts, stuff like that, which I also am battling against as well, and I always have since I was a teenager. Um, this can be a good platform to reach out and find people who are similar. And if people are like, you know, are genuine enough, are willing to support other people like that too and stuff, they can find similar people who will understand. And so I think that like it does help a lot of people. And one more thing I want to say about the like mental health side of this and how it can benefit people. I met a friend of mine a year ago. She's from Australia and she took a break from VR chat for a few months. She went through something that caused a lot of trauma in her life and she turned it into a business. She comes in VR. She actually has her own website where she can book people to have Reiki sessions, therapy sessions, or like sound therapy and everything like that. And I had one of these sessions with her, and it kind of like transformed me just a little bit. It made me like reconnect um with my inner child and everything. And I honestly cried during the session too. So like she uses her mental health to better help other people in here. Um, Even though I said the word BetterHelp, I don't ever go to BetterHelp.
Yeah.
Anyone who goes to BetterHelp is getting scammed. This is not a
Do
promotion or nothing. But anyways, she does it.
PSA. PSA, you know.
Yeah, TS. Yep. But yeah, it's like she has her own business where she can like she is a VR chat user. Like she can even do virtual sessions where she come in VR with you. And you guys go to a private world and she will do a therapy session for you. And her prices are very fair too and stuff like that. And um, sometimes she gives like a really cheap discount. Like it's pretty cheap. It's cheaper. It's way cheaper than my therapist that I have IRL that I go see. But that's all I just want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do my best to wrap it up with a few more questions because I know you're stuck like that. You're stuck there. So
Mhm.
ever since VR chat implemented what's that thing called EAC, and it got rid of
EAC.
yeah, and it got rid of most of guess good on the toxic mods that like crash and ruin the game, but also the very nice helpful mods too. I forgot what the term was, but like they're just like friendly.
Easier life or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
easier life.
yeah, like
Something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. But like they added some new updates to like bring like the stuff that we got taken away back into like the actual main game. Is there like some easy, life, uh, quality of life? That's what it's called. Any quality of life mods that you
Quality of
like to
life.
see return, or like do you think they should put it back in?
Um, Out of the things they did like re-implemented in the game to their like developer side, not so much. There's not none that I can stuff out on top of my head. But when it comes to the stuff they did implement into the game, they really should credit where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like they came up with the idea or came up with the coding or anything like that for it. Um, I do miss EMM avatar search.
Me too.
For
Yeah.
like yeah, because I hate jumping from like world to world to look at Abyss and like waiting for the world to load and all this stuff and you know it's just like I feel like it's a waste of time. Like, I get like want people to like explore worlds more, but like when you come to think of it, a lot of those worlds were pretty empty when it came to visitors anyway. So,
Yeah,
and they kind of still are. So,
facts. And I guess sum it up with one more question, one final question. Do you see VR chat still being around for like 5 years? Do you see yourself being in VR chat for next 5 years? And what do you think? Any new changes, or what do you think would be different in VR chat in the next 5 years?
I think VR chat was still be fine. Um, they might. I strongly believe at least they might have like one more ups and down or two that would like make them lose users, but something might make them gain users again. Um, but after that 5 year mark, I think it might be like a very slow decline after, like to the point where it will eventually. I strongly don't think a relevant thing in 10 years at all. Like there's could be something newer and better and more easier to maneuver in than VR chat. Um, with me being in VR chat in 5 years, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe 4 years tops, more comfortably 3 more. Um, but you know, if that time happens, I'm gonna miss like the old VR chat way worse. And also at the same time, I'm not like the people who I lost connection with. Gonna miss them too. Like I care for like all the people I care about. It's like I said, you got to learn to let go. People who aren't there forever, that's okay. But for the people who will still stick around, like on Discord or other social media platforms, I can still talk to outside of VR chat. I don't care. You guys are coming with me,
Mm-hmm.
even if I stop VR. Like you guys are coming with me.
If
You
I'm
guys
going
are not
down, I'm
leaving my
taking
friend
y'all with
circle
me.
unless you guys want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Do you have any predictions on like the state of VR will be like in VR chat? Like how advanced like the headsets will be, how like no cords at all for full body, advanced like avatars or like uh more body
Um,
suits and stuff to like actually feel like Phantom Sense and all these other things. Like do you see like advancement in like the next couple of years for VR and VR chat users?
um, I, I do, but I don't see it easy accessible when it comes to like price range.
Oh, of
And if
course,
it
yeah.
were to be like like more, but when it comes to more like portability, when it comes to that, I think eventually it will get there, but it won't be VR chat no more. I think it'll be a different platform that's better and way more immersive than what VR is right now. That's what I think. Um, not full dive or anything like that, but somewhere between that and this. I think there might be. I think about maybe like anywhere from like 5 to 10 years. There's gonna be like something better, and you sometimes you might not. I think at that point maybe there won't be any tracking system, but like for people who still prefer VR chat over this new thing that might come out in the future and stuff. There's of course gonna be people who are just gonna stay with this because they already have their equipment. They already paid for that, and they're like, and also like a lot of humans have the tendency to not let go. Um, so like there will be some people who won't be ready to let go of VR chat if something better than VR chat and more immersive and more cost efficient when it comes to like full body tracking, everything else. Um, in in the future. Like they might just stay here until like everything of the shit stops. You know, to the point where like they would have to pay to replace it. So at that point, they might switch over or not. But like when it comes to like VRChat itself, I definitely think there's gonna be like more like bodysuits and stuff like that. Like you know, like how like they have like the vests and stuff like that now. I think they have like the gauntlets too for your arms as well. I think right now. I would really like to see like a very lightweight suit that does full tracking. Like you kind of like a wetsuit a little bit. Like when you go scuba diving or like like those like special effects movies, they wear the white suits with the little white puffball dots all over them. Like something like light like that, where it doesn't require any trackers on the suit, and it tracks your entire body movement, and then without losing tracking and very fluid, and it just makes you way more immersed and stuff. Like I think that would be. I think that's something they might work toward. I think that might come towards too in the future.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Helvetti. Also, I got an anonymous DM for a question that someone wanted you to answer for the interview.
Mm-hmm.
They asked, "What is your shoe size?"
I can in women's I wear 6.5 to 7. It depends on a brand.
Okay, I'm actually gonna lie. No one actually asked. I just wanted to know. I'm a
That's
degenerate.
oh my god! It was like I was about
I'm a
to say it's
very.
like why would someone?
I'm
Of
a.
course,
I'm a
someone's gonna ask about
degenerate.
my feet. It was like why? Well, okay, so like okay, speaking of size, I'm also 5'0". I'm just 5 foot flat. I got nothing above that.
Well, yeah. um. But yeah, that
Yeah,
will.
because I say that because I wanted to derive the attention away from my feet. Fucking weirdo. No, I'm kidding.
No, all good. You know how I be. But
Hmm.
yeah, thank you, Helvetti. It was a great interview, and I'm glad you had time to like stop by, answer some VR chat questions, and talk and got to hang out. And appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Any last
And
things you want to say before we close off?
um, no, I'm very terrible on the spot.
Follow my IG, my Twitter. I do art commissions. I make hella good money and good art. You know.
I do art commissions. Um, Eventually I'll be doing avatar commissions as well. I'm working on that. I'm actually working on my link tree right now, and eventually I'll like low key OnlyFans.
Hell yeah.
So when that comes out, I'll be in my Discord. So if people want, they can add me in Discord. Is Goetia, which is capital GOEIA #388.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Helvetti, and hope you have a wonderful night.
Mm-hmm. You too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And close.